So this is actually a viewer submitted deck. The Japan hobbyist sent me a list of a Boros Midrange deck and their take on it. This is what they sent me. I think they said they had made some changes, but I can't remember what they are, if I'm being completely honest. So we're going to try the list that they had sent me originally and see what it looks like. I'm pretty interested because I'm not really a mid-range player. I know I say that after coming off of just playing an Is It Epiphany deck, but I'm not really a mid-range player, but this has a lot of cards that I like in it. And I feel like it has a more like aggressive, like it has like this like mid-rangey beatdown style of stuff. So this is the list they sent me. We're just gonna go ahead and jump into the games, and hopefully it pans out pretty well. Let's see, Pioneer League, 100 points. We just played Is It Turns, and we ran that to a we ran that into a 2-3. It wasn't a great league, but it was okay. We kind of I made a couple of mistakes, honestly, and on top of that, there I just feel like the the deck just could have been better. Felt like I just played a couple of cards that weren't that great. So hopefully we have a better league than we did just a minute ago. Well, it's taking a minute to find a game here, but hopefully it starts finding us stuff here before too long. I've started playing enough Pioneer to where I'm starting to trophy, like not super regularly, but here and there. So two trophies in one round of like league, however much time that is more than I normally come across with. So normally lucky if I trophy once. So maybe we can get a third trophy right here. This hand feels pretty good. Just auras? Okay, that's interesting. I don't know if this is a good matchup or not. Oh, our opponent noticed our message and replied. That's nice of them. So we get to gain some life and make a couple blockers here. Feels pretty good. Depending on what they do this turn, we'll probably just slam Anger of the Gods this coming turn. Depends on what it ends up looking like. We will have Giant Killer as well. So I meant to block there. That was wrong. Definitely not what I wanted to do there. Okay. This feels pretty solid. We're kind of telegraphing a sweeper here by attacking in with everybody, so... Anger of the Gods, say go. We're kind of in a spot here where we'd really like to hit a land here. Stone Coil Serpent, okay. Prevent the damage that would deal until next turn. Fateful Absence is a good pickup, but again, we would really like to see... We'd really like to hit our land drops here. With 25 lands in our deck, I'm kind of surprised that we're missing land drops. Play Archon of Emeria. Archon feels pretty good here. Cave of the Frost Dragon? Huh. It's an interesting land to be playing. And I'm not saying it's not good, I'm just intrigued to see people playing it. Alright, I think we're just going to start putting things on the board here because we can Fateful Absence during our opponent's turn here if we need to. Baneslayer Angel will probably also just be lights out if we ever get to it, so there's that. Archon of Emeria already doing work. Prevent the damage that would deal. Gideon of the Trials really putting in work here. Honestly, kind of feels like everything we're doing here is just kind of putting in work, honestly. So... Well, we'll continue to chip in for 2 here. I mean, slowly but surely, I guess we'll get there. Okay. If they slam the Lyris here, we're just going to play Anger and then attack with Gideon. Attack in for 3. Put our opponent to 13. Cast Elspeth. We get to make a couple tokens here, and then say go. I'm interested to see somebody playing Black-White Auras. I didn't really know it was still a deck. With flying, okay. I mean, not saying that the deck is bad by any means. I don't really see people playing it, so I didn't really know it was still a thing. I still own Black-White Auras. I might put that together and go play it one Saturday night or something. If we can get enough together for Pioneer. Okay, that was your one spell. Play Chandra. We're going to minus on the Luris. Okay, our opponent's going to concede here. I mean, feels like the writing was on the wall there. Chain to the Rocks. Rip apart. Settle the Wreckage. Chandra? I don't know about Chandra. I mean, it could be good, but I don't know. Let's see here. Elspeth feels underwhelming. Archon isn't great, but it is good. I'm not saying Thraben Inspector is not good. I just think there are better options here. Say we try it like that. I think we just want to be as reactionary as possible. Force Sunset Revelry is really good. Yeah, I definitely don't think we can keep this. We only have one land. This hand's awesome. We'll keep this. Put the Baneslayer back. I mean, I don't know how much I don't like putting the Baneslayer back, but it feels like that's what we need to do. Drawing a second Chain to the Rocks makes me feel a lot better about this play. That's awesome for us. I mean, considering he hasn't played a black land yet, it feels like he probably doesn't have anything to do there. Okay, so he either pilled the black land or he just felt like he didn't need to play it. If he had a third land in a 1-drop, though, I really question his thoughts on casting the Saram there. I think he pilled that land, honestly. Get a clock on the field and say go. Taking our Chandra there was unfortunate. Our Chandra, it was going to be a very useful card to have. The fact that our opponent didn't do anything is pretty weird there. Like, feels like they probably have a removal spell here. If they don't have a removal spell, then I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what the heck our opponent's doing. Oh, they don't have Luris. They didn't reveal Luris. Any other numbered target or creatures you control phase out. Okay, so it's good to know that if we do have to play a game 3, that they are playing that. Okay. First strike flying and vigilance is nothing to mess around with. That's really good. Be good to me, Chain to the Rocks. Okay. So he does have the blessing here. We can't attack, but we also can't block, which is a little unfortunate. Which means we do need to find something this turn, or we're in pretty bad shape here. Settle the Wreckage would be awesome. Doomscar would be good. What are the odds that their last card is another protection spell? I don't know. I think we need to go for the Glorybringer play here. Oh, alright, they didn't have anything, so that works out pretty well. Alright, well, we ended up beating up on Black-White Auras game 1 with our Boros Midrange deck. Archon of Emeria really put in the work game 1. It is. Alright, well, deck shined very brightly there in game 1. Felt pretty good. Sunset Revelry feels like a very good card. Feels like not only like in aggro matchups, but it can also be good in like a more like a mid-rangey, grindy matchup too. I'm gonna keep this hand. This hand's good. It's a little slow. I mean, it's a mid-range deck, so our opponent's on a mulligan to 5. So as long as they don't have like some extreme aggro hand here, we'll be able to. Hopefully, we'll be able to run them over, or not run them over, but kind of control the pace of the game. Playing Stompy more than likely. So I think it's worth shocking in because I think we want Giant Killer down to be able to start tapping stuff, honestly. If we can start tapping stuff down, then maybe we can have a chance here. Yeah, the Gruul Aggro deck. Just a stomp. Okay. It's unfortunate, but not much we can do about it. Questing Beast would be a problem here. It's almost like I say it and he knows it. Alright, so we go to 14. Now the good news is that our opponent's kind of out of cards here. Big Boros? Yeah, little a viewer submitted Boros mid-range deck here. We are going to foretell that. That was a really good draw step. So we'll be able to kind of clear the board up here. I mean, they could just have cleave here and we could die. Well, could we? Yeah, if they attack with both and have cleave. No, I only go to 2. Just Glorybringer? Oh, Lair of the Hydra. So we take 7, go to 7. Okay. They probably knew we were going to play the sweeper there, so they animated the land there intentionally, which was a smart play if that's the case. We have Sunset Revelry, Elspeth, or Gideon, or Glorybringer next turn, depending on what they do here. Okay, the fact that they're playing Bonecrusher Giant's good for us. Means we can hopefully just attack and exert, and we don't have to take anything because Bonecrusher Giant says a spell. I don't know. We can play Sunset Revelry and Elspeth next turn, so maybe we've stabilized. Make 4 blockers and say go here. Our opponent has to have Embercleave here to be able to get through. So it feels like we're in a pretty decent spot. The fact that they're already tapping mana means that they don't have it. Now, Glorybringer is pretty good here. Not sure how we're going to deal with that one right now, honestly. Alright, so we get to get rid of the Glorybringer. Or we get to get rid of the Bonecrusher Giant. We lose our Elspeth. Glorybringer number 2 is pretty good. Do I want to play my Glorybringer, or am I just playing Elspeth and making some blockers? Get to attack for 5. And then we can use both Glorybringers to clear out blockers next turn if we need to. Or we can get in for... No, I think we're doing that and making blockers. So we're going to attack for 5, put our opponent to 9. We're not going to exert. I don't want to kill the Llanowar Elf. I guess we could die, but I don't see it happening. Yeah, make 2 guys. Because right now, what? He can make a 2-2, or I guess if he uses the Llanowar Elf and draws a land, he can make a 4-4 Lair of the Hydra and hit us for 8. But if he does that, he's just dead. If he attacks me with everything, it's very clear he has Embercleave, which will put us to 1. Okay. I can't block. There's nothing I can do about that. Is this a defensive Glorybringer? If it is, that changes things. If it is, that changes a lot of things. Exile 4 other cards and we can recast our Elspeth here. Okay, Shatter Skull smashing to kill that means you're dead. Because you tapped out? Okay, awesome. Cool, 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 cool. And then get in for 11. Archon of Emeria does not feel great in this matchup. I mean, they are aggro, but they're also very tap-outy. I think ECD will be good. It's very slow. Feels like it could be very good in this matchup, though. It's ECD or Rip Apart. What's better? I don't think Thraben Inspector really does anything. I don't think Archon really does anything. Elspeth makes blockers and gains life. I mean, against an aggro deck, that's kind of what you want. Let's try it like that. Maybe ECD is a little too slow here. Maybe Rip Apart's just better because it's earlier interaction. But if we have something to do in the first 2 to 3 turns, and then we can like slam an ECD to get rid of a Glorybringer or a like this hand's great. Our opponent mulligans we're gonna keep. Or if we can use ECD late in the game to kill a Glorybringer or kill a Questing Beast, then I would say that's a win. We're also going to cast a Giant Killer here because it'll be really beneficial to just tap things down if we need to. Plus, you know, that one extra card that they mulliganed to 5 last game, that one extra card might have just been enough to help them win that last game. We have Stomp, or we have tap something down with Giant Killer. Feels okay to me either way. We go to 16. Play the Triumph tapped, and then we can tap down the Questing Beast, or if they play a Glorybringer, we'll tap down the Glorybringer next turn. We might be taking 3 here, but we're saving 4. Giant Killer is saving us 4 every turn. It's like I don't think they play Collected Company, but if they do, then we'll just get got, so. Oh no! Shit. That was a mistake. Definitely clicked one too many times there. Yep, we'll take 10 here. All right, next turn we can... God, we're going to go to 4 here. Wow, that's an awesome draw step. And now we can use our Giant Killer to tap down the Lair of the Hydra if we need to. All right, so I think our line that we were going to take before that would have been a losing line because we were going to win to what was on the board, but not what was right in front of us. We're at 4, so this is a tough spot. If we hit an untapped land here, we can go... If we hit an untapped land here, we can go... I was going to say we could play Elspeth and tap something, but... Now we can play Anger, sweep up the board, and play our Bone Crusher Giant. And cost 3. So they have to play a land here, activate. Damn. That sucks. Oh well. They must have just pilled that Glorybringer because I'm pretty sure Glory... Well, maybe they had it. I don't know. We need to get our Baneslayer down earlier. I just don't feel like we were really in a spot where we could do that. I think Rip Aparts are better here. I think Rip Aparts are better because what, you're looking at having 10 5-drops in your mid-range deck, and that just kind of feels like a lot, even for a mid-range deck. So, I don't know. Like, we have a very, like, curving out deck. Like, we needed to hit a Sunset Revelry at some point is what we needed. This hand is awesome. We're going to lead on Castle Ardenvale. Yeah. So we're going to lead on Castle Ardenvale. Then we're going to play Mountain, Foretell Doomscar. Our opponent's mulliganed every game. I kind of feel sorry for him, honestly. It's very annoying to have to mulligan all the time like that. It drives me crazy. Llanowar Elf. Foretell this. Sunset Revelry is a good pickup. We have multiple sweepers here in Settle the Wreckage and in Doomscar. Ooh, interesting. Man, Pilling Anger of the Gods right here would be awesome. Play that. They probably won't attack with it. This will probably just be a Glorybringer, or, well, it can't be a Glorybringer. It has to be the Questing Beast to kill my Gideon here. Because that doesn't kill my Gideon. Oh, they're not even going to attack my Gideon. They're just going to attack me. Okay. I really hate to already play my Chain to the Rocks on something, but... Alright, this might be wrong here, but we have 2 sweepers in our hand as long as we keep hitting lands, so... Now, they haven't missed a land drop yet, so I was like, they're probably at their 5th land, but something tells me they have a Glorybringer in their hand, and they just haven't had a chance to play it. I think they just have, like, Glorybringer stuck in their hand, honestly. Bro, I'm gonna throw that in front of that all day. Alright, we're gonna get busy with the Gideon here. Alright, I don't really know what was in our opponent's hand, but they just kind of conceded there. So, off to a 2-0 start with the Boros Midrange deck. Deck has felt pretty smooth so far. I don't know, it feels like there's a lot of good ways to fill the Oh my gosh, Michigan State lost today. Wow. Sorry, I'm just kind of taken back here. I'm very surprised that that Michigan State lost. I was not expecting to look at my phone and see that news. TCU beat Baylor today. Okay. Alabama's playing LSU right now. Kentucky's losing to Tennessee. Man. Purdue beat Michigan State 40-29 today. Wow. Not gonna lie, I kind of thought Michigan State would go all the way this year. I mean, not to say that they can't, but a loss this late in the season does not help their record. Does not help their case to get into the playoffs. So Lyris of the Dream Den. This feels like a pretty decent hand against Lyris. Raven Inspector's allowed for some card draw. Archon of Emeria maybe helps set up some hate later on down the line. Sunset Revelry's just good. Thought sees us, okay. Take Archon of Emeria immediately. Not that I'm like super surprised there. Run out Raven Inspector. I don't think it's worth to go ahead and run out the Giant Killer. Foretell that. That was a good draw step. Our hand should give us enough time to get to a place to where we can actually cast the Doomscar. Now, the downfall is that we're playing white-red. There aren't many things we could be foretelling here. Okay. Those are all good cards. I'm happy to see those gone. Okay, make a token. If my opponent doesn't play a land here, I will have more cards than them and will be able to we'll be able to Sunset Revelry for not all 3 modes, but I won't gain any life, but I will make bodies and I will be and draw cards, so okay. All right, I'm gonna make a clue, play my mountain, say go, and we'll crack a clue here. Puts Lyris into their hand. Okay. So I don't see them attacking. Like even though like getting Stitcher Supplier into the yard is good, like it just seems silly. We'll just start saying go here. If they tap out, if they play their Lyris and then play something off of the Lyris, we'll just crack the clue to draw a card, and then we'll just play the Doomscar. Feels kind of weird to be the interactive deck against the Rakdos deck. Gideon's a pretty good pill. Yeah, let's go ahead and cast one. We can use it to just start tapping stuff down if we need to. Feels like a pretty good place to start. Interesting. Definitely going to discard those. Would rather be able to keep my Gideon and my Elspeth here. They feel pretty solid. Get Gideon down. We'll make a Gideon emblem. And then we're just going to keep saying, we're going to keep holding up the Giant Killer because they could play, like if they draw a land here, they could play Kroxa and then give it haste with the Claim to Fame in their, one of the Claim to Fames in their graveyard. I think there's 2 of them. No, just 1 Claim to Fame. Yep. 3 cards in hand. Not really sure what they are. They might be lands. And we'll start trying to serve it up here. If we can just Giant Killer and Gideon like the rest of the game, like, I mean, that's also barred on them not adding any threats to the board. So they could also just have a Fatal Push here. Tap down the Kroxa. Weird that you're doing that now. Guess it doesn't really matter, though. Down goes our Gideon. I mean, they're getting to attack for 12 basically every turn, so this isn't gonna do it. We need them to not have a removal spell here, and then we need to draw another Glorybringer. Giving that thing haste is annoying because now they get to attack for 12, and then they get to Kicker the Bloodchief's Thirst to kill our Glorybringer, which basically means we have no outs. Or they can just Dreadbore it, that works too. I'm pretty sure there's like no outs here. We're just going to concede because even with the Fateful Absence, I don't know like what we're going to draw into to get us out of that one. Okay. Archon of Emiri is really good. So is Fateful Absence. I mean, honestly, all this stuff is really good. Like, we can probably just trim on numbers here. Glorybringer is probably not great. Like, okay, but not great. Bonecrusher Giant seems really good because it just... I don't know. I think we got to be living in this world. So yeah, we'll try it like this. I think Chain to the Rocks is better than Rip Apart here. I don't know that we can bring in Rip Apart without diluting ourselves too much. Like maybe we like try that. I don't know. Does it only has one Rip Apart. Okay, so we did get the submission in time, so yep, we're gonna try this. I mean, they might Thoughtseize our hand to death, but this is a really good hand. We have a great curve. Yep. Take Baneslayer Angel? Okay. Rip and Anger, say go. Okay. Okay. Plus on these Stitcher suppliers, say go. Chandra's a good draw step. I'd really just like to hit and untap the red source here. Okay. Really like to draw like a Rest in Peace or a Graph Digger's Cage here, honestly. All right, let's try to get busy here. They don't really have a way to pressure us, so I'm just going to start slamming Planeswalkers and force them to deal with them. Oh, man, that would have been awesome. Well, now, sadly, both of our Baneslayer Angels are gone, so... it's a little unfortunate. Okay. Dealt 2 to that. Definitely should have played the land there for literally the exact reason I was just saying. Like that. Glorybringer would have been lights out there. Yeah, that was just really poor decision making on my part. We get to draw a card and make blockers here, so we're going to go with it. Yeah, the missing out on Glorybringer was just a misstep on my part. If I'd played the land first, we would have got to play Glorybringer there, and it would have been great. Honestly, I'm just going to discard the land. We're still at 17. Really like to see Graph Digger's Cage or Rest in Peace off the top here, because we could still lose to a Kroxa. Okay, that's what we wanted right there. All right, make this a 4/4 attack for 6. They'll probably block the Gideon with the Stitcher Supplier. Okay. Don't get me wrong, them drawing cards is never a good thing, but... oh, yeah, okay. I was like, they might honestly concede here. Like, Rest in Peace is back-breaking against that deck. Maybe we only want 2 Sunset Revelries, and we want the other 2 to be Rip-Aparts. Like, Sunset Revelry is good, but, like, it's not outstanding or anything, so... It gains life, draws cards, and mates blockers all in the right situation, but... if it's not in the right situation, then, I mean... Well, our opponents took a minute to sideboard last time, so I'm not surprised that they're taking a second here. Hopefully, like, we can just slam turn 2, rest in peace. Like, and if they have a Thought Seize or Duress or something, that we just draw it. I mean, this hand's awesome. Our opponent mulligans, so we have a good hand, and they mulligan, so feels pretty good to start the game with here. Now, unfortunately, they probably do have some kind of Thought Seize Duress effect here, where they can take our rest in peace. Yep. Now, we do have 2 more answers in our deck. We do have... oh, that's a really good draw. We'll play that. We do have another Rest in Peace and 2 Graph Digger's Cage. The only problem is that they can deal with the Graph Digger's Cage, and it doesn't have any like long-term effects if they do deal with it. So Rest in Peace is just solid because it actually just like wipes out their graveyard. So even if they like have Feed the Swarm or something like that, it gets rid of their entire graveyard for the purposes there. Okay. All right. Well, we're having pretty good resource management here against what they're trying to do so far. So. Okay, Village Rites is pretty good. So we do that, and now we get to hold up Stomp here from the Bone Crusher Giant. Okay. Okay with them Thought Seizing us here. Like, depending on what their hand looks like, they probably take the Baneslayer again. Yeah, honestly, you know, I don't know what they take here because all of our cards are really good. Like, that's one thing that I really enjoy about these mid-range decks is that almost every card is just a bomb. Like, everything you're doing is just so good. I hate to give them more chances at a Kroxa, but... I'm not going to play the Giant Killer because... I don't know, it might be a mistake. Maybe I should just play the Giant Killer. But if they're going to use one of their Blood Chief's Thirst to deal with our Bone Crusher Giant, they are going to have to prioritize actually paying the kicker cost. Elder Giant. Protection from demons and dragons. Okay, so no. We're going to discard our Baneslayer Angel. Alright, let's try to get busy here. Maybe we can try to win the race. They have no cards, we have no cards now, so... Now, they do have a Kroxa they can play this turn, so... Now the only good thing from that is that if they're going to play their Kroxa, okay, they can't play anything else. Now they're probably just going to attack and kill our Bloodchief's Thirst, the Giant Killer, away, which means we need to draw something pretty solid here. Glorybringer, Rest in Peace would be awesome. Craftdigger's Cage would be good. Sunset Revelry's not bad. Play the land. I don't think it'll hurt to have a 6 land. Question is, do you play Kroxa here, or do you play Lyris then Kroxa? I think from a personal point of view, I'm just going to put Kroxa into play because I want to, in case I draw an answer. Oh, okay, so they're going to Village Rites their Dreadhorde Arcanist away. Okay, not going to say that's wrong. Don't really know why you want Soul Guide Lantern against me, but I guess to get my Elspeth? I don't know. Feels like there's not really a lot of graveyard synergy in my deck, so... Alright, drawing a land isn't what I wanted. Maybe we should have held the Savai Triome to try and cycle. I don't know. I don't really feel like that was the correct play there, but okay, I'll go to 18. I mean, maybe you cast Thoughtseize and maybe you say it's worth going to 8 to make a blocker, but I don't think so. If you're holding a land here, or they've already played a land, I'm not sure. Now, repetitively drawing cards with the Soul Guide Lantern is pretty sweet. I would love to see an Anger of the Gods here. Gideon's not bad. Plus on the Lyris. There are a lot of really good draw steps we could have here to get us out of this. Okay. Like, don't get me wrong, this game's not looking great for us here, but I don't think we're out of this by any stretch of the imagination. I think if we draw Rest in Peace, we're probably going to be too late to the party now, but... Okay, so we go to 12. So if we draw Rest in Peace, it's actually not terrible in this spot. Yeah, attacking Gideon. So I don't care about that. Gideon can go to 3. All right, I think peeling into a land honestly might have cost like... I think 3 of our last 4 draws being lands might have cost us the game here. So what do we do? Plus on this, play our land, say go. So we still lose life because of Kroxa's text. All right. Gideon goes to 2. Target player sacrifices a planeswalker. Why didn't you do that before you attacked? If you do that before you attack and then shove in with the clowns, everybody and me, you probably win. All right. Anger, please. Anger, Doomscar, I guess. Probably better. All right. Well, we had 5 draw steps and 4 of them were lands, so there was nothing we could do about that. We didn't really draw any of our hate cards against them. Like, don't get me wrong, our hand was good, but they thought seized away our rest in peace. And we never drew another one of our 3 pieces of graveyard interaction, so we just kind of fell apart to their graveyard shenanigans there. Archon of Emeria would have been a very good draw. Anger would have been a very good draw, or any sweeper would have been really good. Basically at any point in any of those games there. So close games. We just ended up not getting there for the 3rd one. So right, we did play all 3 games there, right? Yep, we ended up losing 2-1 there, so 2-1 with the Boros Midrange deck. Not bad so far, but like to keep winning. I think we could 4-1 with this deck for sure. Like I don't see that being a problem. All right. Come on, Moto, find us a game. All right, finally. Hi, and good luck, opponent. Gyruda. Interesting. Like Castle Ardenville, say go. So this is just Gyruda Combo. use this to draw a card. Archon making non-basic lands they control come into play tapped will be pretty sweet. What does Gyruda's cost? 6? Does Grafdigger's Cage stop this? I think Grafdigger's Cage stops this, but I'm not sure. Alright, so they have to have... Play another Archon of Emeria, say go. I think Grafdigger's Cage is really good in this matchup. Not so much in the... Okay. Rest in Peace does not work against this deck, I'm pretty sure. Because I think I remember somebody getting very angry at me one time. Because they thought I was like trying to like cheat a glitch or something like that, and I wasn't. I just genuinely thought that Rest in Peace worked, but apparently it did not. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the treasure, so they can play Gyruda this turn. Clever Impersonator. Spark Double or Thought-Knot Seer? I'm intrigued. Spark Double? Okay, one of them allows them to actually keep the Gyruda. Yeah, it's that one. And Dragon Lord Atarka. Okay. They didn't take Dragon Lord Atarka? Maybe there's more than one Dragon Lord Atarka that I'm not aware of? There must be more than one Dragon Lord Atarka or something. Or maybe there's not? I don't know. So there is more than one Dragon Lord Kolaghan. I kept saying Atarka. Well, it's unfortunate. Settle the Wreckage is really good. Grafdigger's Cage and Settle the Wreckage feel like really the only things we can be doing to stop that. Sunset Revelry feels like it doesn't really do anything. But Glorybringer is also kind of slow. I mean, unfortunately, like, there's not much we can do here. We can bring in some cards and just try to grind our opponent out. A lot of times, like decks that I play, like I just try to get under this deck before they can really do anything, but that's not really an option here. We just kind of have to hope that we have Cage or Settle the Wreckage to stop all of their garbage. We do have Cage, so we're going to keep. And our opponent mulligans. And, you know, Cage might not even work here. I'm pretty sure it does, but it might not, honestly. Because I'm pretty, creature cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield, so. Yeah, drawing something to do would be pretty cool. Todd Knot's ear is pretty good. Takes Baneslayer Angel. Okay. Make a couple 1/1s, say go. By Gyruda. Okay. Innkeeper. Okay. If he attacks with a Thought-Knot Seer, I'd be willing to trade a Bone Crusher Giant for a Thought-Knot Seer, honestly. I think that's a trade I'd be willing to make. Are they casting Gyruda here? It's time to see if Grafdigger's Cage stops the combo. It does. Okay. So they're just trying to beat me with a 6/6. Well, we're just going to keep saying go here. Castle Ardenvale just kind of allows us to sit here and not really do much. Okay. Are you going to make a Thought-Knot Seer, I assume? Yeah, okay. So that was the only... I mean, I guess we knew that was in the graveyard. So that was just kind of a misstep on my part. That, and I also don't really know what this deck does, so... Okay. Now, depending on how our opponent attacks here, we can use the Bone Crusher Giant to Stomp them because they're going to play a Thought Nazi here. So kind of okay with just going to 16 here. Play a Bone Crusher Giant. Attack for 4. Okay. And then I'm going to pay 2 life so that I can make tokens here. So I can make a token this turn. Okay. I mean, they have to have answers to like Grafdigger's Cage in some way. Like it's like one of the only cards I think that stops their combo. So they have to have cards somewhere in their deck that answer it. The thing I don't have an answer to is what card is it and did they bring it in? Like, okay, bet. I am more than happy to do that and draw a card. Oh, yeah. Chief called, that's it. Like, not that the game's over, but, like, that's a really good draw. Because the game's not over in any way. We get to attack. He's going to throw probably the Caryatid in front of the, interesting, the Paradise Druid. And then we're going to say go. What is this thing? Protection. Oh, it has protection from Gyruda. That's pretty cool. All right, so we just kind of rode Grafdigger's Cages back that game, honestly. I think we would rather have 3 Chained to the Rocks to get their stuff off the field as opposed to 3 Thraben Inspectors. To try and do it that way. So I don't think that we have to mulligan to Grafdigger's Cage, but if we have a questionable 7, like that doesn't really just look good, then we're probably going to mulligan, honestly. Because this is one of those combo decks, and I don't really like to screw around with those combo decks. I mean, we do have double Settle the Wreckage, like, so that's pretty good. Like, I wish we could trade, like probably the G Banger for like another Plains or something, but or a Triome or anything, but puts one on the bottom, peels a Triome, seems good. Also, having Gideon to slam on turn 3 will be good because we can make an emblem or, I don't know, like do anything. Do whatever we want with it. Caryatid. Chain to the Rocks is also pretty good here. Thought Nazi here, okay. I'm curious to know what he takes here. Like, there's not a good option for our opponent. He takes Gideon, we play Chain to the Rocks. He takes Settle the Wreckage, we play Gideon. Like, I don't know why I'd ever take Chain to the Rocks in this spot, but people do crazy things all the time, so. Wow. Okay. Maybe my opponent knows something I don't. We're going to plus. Say go here. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there must be something I'm not aware of there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if he wants to play another Thought-Knot Seer, he can. Buys Gyruda. Okay. We're going to make an emblem so that they, like, just can't freely attack us with everything, at least. We're forcing them to... We're forcing them to at least kill our Gideon before they just try and combo us off, because there's a good chance that if I just plus on the Thought-Knot Seer there, that they just play Gyruda and just kill us. So we're not going to let that happen. The heck's a red for? I don't have anything to do, so I'm just going to 6 here. I'm not going to posture. Okay. I'm just going to say go. Like, having settled the wreckage here at the ready, they have to have, like, double Thought-Knot Seer here to, like, to where I can't. Okay. He's going to let me draw a card before. Yeah, I was like, he's going to let me draw a card so that I can. He can see what I draw. So that he can see what I draw. Yeah. He takes a settle the wreckage. I mean, I can't just sit around here forever and not do anything. Alright, play this, say go. If I draw an untapped land, I can... I mean... Oh, he bricked. What? What the hell? Whoa, whoa. I thought he bricked. There was nothing in the graveyard. Okay, I guess he didn't. Well, it's pretty unfortunate that we just got into a spot where we couldn't deal with the Dragon Lord Culligan. We go to 18, take 13, 17, 21. Yeah, so unfortunate, but we're just kind of dead here. So if I don't play the Settle the Wreckage, we're just playing the game basically until... I mean, block the 10-10, go to negative 34. Like, there's just nothing we could do there. We played every card we had, and we kept a good hand. We kept a good hand with double Settle the Wreckage, which is really good against that deck. It was just unfortunate that we never drew a Grafdigger's Cage, and the fact that our opponent had multiple Dawnot's Ears to be able to pick our hand apart. Because if our opponent plays like a Whisperweave Angel and like takes our next Settle the Wreckage, they can just start attacking in, and then we don't have anything on the field. So there wasn't a super great option there. We just kind of got stuck between a rock and a hard place there. Gyruda Combo is one of those decks that I kind of hate, honestly, because it feels like one of those decks that no matter what you do, you just can't beat it. It just feels like it always has so much utility, so many ways to gain life. Excuse me. Like if you're playing an aggro deck, it feels like it has so many ways to gain life, and Sylvan Caryat is just an insane blocker. If you're playing this like slower, grindy mid-range deck, like you're just kind of stuck in a spot where you have a couple of cards that are good, and you have to hope they're good enough. And if you're playing this against, if you have a Thoughtseize deck, they have a companion that they can just wait and get later in the game. So like, there's always that chance that you can't actually Thoughtseize their hand apart. I mean, it's the only way I've ever beaten this deck is when they brick on one of the on the 4 cards that come into play. Like if the 4 cards that come into play, like they don't hit a creature, so they can't keep going, that's the only way I've ever beaten this deck. So LSU burns Alabama with fake punt. Now that's exciting. Nobody ever does fake punts. You know, Carly was just talking about that the other day. How nobody ever does fake punts. So it's kind of fun to see one pop up, especially after her talking about it the other day. Our opponent's playing Lyris. This feels like a good hand. So we're going to keep this. Play the Triumphs. I go. Let's sort our hand in a more efficient manner. Mike and the Full Effect. Okay. Interesting name. Sunset Revelry is really going to shine here. We're going to go to 21. We don't get to draw a card. We'll probably never get to draw a card against Burn, but... Alright, so he hasn't drawn any... Is he hitting me to scry one? Wonder how he scries. Puts one card on top, more than likely a white land if I'm guessing, so that he can probably play a Boros Charm in his hand. Just gonna say go here. Hold up the Bone Crusher Giant. Or hold up the Stomp, I guess. Yep. So Boros Charm coming down, I imagine. Maybe he buys Lyris here. He does not buy Lyris here, so let's stomp this. Gonna play Boros Charm to protect your stuff. I was like, I'm pretty okay with that if that's the route you decide to take. Play the Bone Crusher Giant. We'll have to work the Lightning Strike the Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, we'll have to find a way to work the Boros Charm out of their hand, or get our opponent into a spot where the Boros Charm can't be played. Because if they do, like if they can play around our Doomscar here, then we're just kind of in a tough spot. Minus here. All right, protect it now. Okay. All right, so that's good because that means we can play Doomscar next turn, which means he'll have to point something at our Chandra, I imagine. If he draws a land, he can activate the Din here. Okay, so we drew a tapped land, which is good at least. Okay, so he is going to kill it. Kill that. Our opponent goes to 12. Play Thraben Inspector. Feels like we're in a pretty decent spot, but we're also playing Burn, so we could just lose at any time. Gonna fire up the Manland here. Okay. Jump in front, take 5. That's pretty good draw. Go to 16. Yep. All right, cool. Our opponent, like, what are you going to play on your stream next? Like, do you mean, like, what deck, Kyle? Like, what do you mean, buddy? Rip Apart. Chain to the Rocks. I don't really think we want Rest in Peace. I mean, I guess we could, but it feels a little too cute here. Giant Killer is not good in this matchup. Probably cut a couple Glory Bringers. If nothing else, Archon of the Myria eats a Wizard's Lightning or a Lightning Strike. This hand feels pretty solid. Next stream, like Monday or Tuesday. Oh, I got you. I don't know when I'll stream next, honestly. Not a 100% sure. Probably, definitely not streaming tomorrow. Sacred Foundry is a good pickup there. Yeah, I don't know. And we have dinner plans with Greg and D on Monday night, so probably stream Tuesday or Wednesday next week, depending on what the week looks like. Why? What's going on? You wanted to like stream something together? 'Cause I'm definitely down for like a little co-stream action. Man, this guy is gonna be livid. Gain 4 life, make some guys, and I'm playing 4 of that card in this deck. The Japan hobbyist, the guy who put this deck together that I'm playing What will you be playing though, deck-wise? Oh, I have no idea. I haven't put anything together. Haven't really put anything together. If there's something you want to see, let me know though. Cancel. Let's try to double up on the Soulscar Mage. Okay, that actually worked. Huh. I'm a little surprised by that. I You're such a tool, Kyle. You think blue-white control is pretty good. Alright, man. If you want me to, I'll stream blue-white control. Use the mountain. Hit this. Get baited, nerd. I was really curious why you were asking me so many questions about what I was going to stream next. I was like, when did you start taking such an interest in my stream? How did you not see that coming? Oh, hush. I can't help it. I didn't see that coming. Not going to lie, our opponent would probably concede here. God knows I would if I was my opponent. They're not going to concede here. Interesting. Uh-oh. Oh, I just got the guy, so I can't attack. I watch them all the time if I'm home. Okay, fair enough. Kiss the homies goodnight and all. Oh, Lord. I feel like I definitely should have seen that coming, but fine. What format do you want to see it in? Do you want to see it in Pioneer or Modern? Or I think there's a no, I'm not gonna play it in Standard. I'm not gonna get all those cards in Arena. Yeah, so I guess do you want to see Blue White Control in Pioneer or Modern? I think I played Modern last time you asked me to. Let's see. All right, we had a 3-2 league. So I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty good. We lost to Rakdos Kroxa, which doesn't seem crazy. Like we just didn't hit. Like they thought seized our rest in peace, and we fought, but unfortunately they just had so much recursion we weren't able to get out of it. And then we lost to Gyruda Combo, which I haven't really seen played much lately. But I mean, it was pretty good. The only thing we had was Grafdigger's Cage for it and a couple Silver Wreckages. Our opponent put us into a spot where they had Thought Not Seer to take one of our settles, and then another like the Whisper Weave Angel to flicker it so that they could get another settle the wreckage out of it. So, but we went 3-2 besides that. 4 Sunset Revelries is insane against anything playing like an aggressive deck, so that was pretty cool. Enjoyed that. Yeah, we'll probably try to run this back. Honestly, I'm not sure what I would change, but we'll probably try to run this back and see what else we can get out of this. So that's it for the stream tonight. If you come by and hung out tonight, I really appreciate it. We're gonna hit somebody with a raid, and I'll see you guys next time.